I'm told the Washington twins are going to burn a shitload of that ancient medieval interior. They could sell it off for good money, but they don't want anything to be traced back to the island. It's sad, I guess, but people might start asking questions if the stuff went on auction.
Yeah. Money's amazing, though, man. I mean, I've never been paid so much money just to keep an eye on a couple of stupid seagulls. A few more years of working this gig, and I'm ready to call it a day. You know, maybe go somewhere hot, somewhere nice.
Well, that's what I heard anyway. They basically only want to keep the outside shell of the castle for show, while everything inside will be ripped out. They don't want anything on the satellite images, I guess.
You know, the rich can do whatever they fucking like, man. I mean, there's no point in trying to figure out what they're up to, because a lot of the time, it doesn't make any sense. It's just my opinion.
Oh, I can't believe I forgot to put on my thermal underwear. I'm starting to freeze my arse off out here. I hope we'll get to have guard duty inside the castle again soon.
Yeah, I still wonder why they have all this secret shit in some remote castle, you know? It's like holding up a sign saying, we're right here and we're up to no good. It's bullshit.
Oh, these guys are serious when they say they want to keep everything under wraps. My wife doesn't even know where I am. She's furious about it. I don't even know if I have a wife to come home to.
And you know, I kind of like being on guard duty out here. I mean, sure, it's cold, but it's also beautiful. With the castle as a backdrop and that dramatic night sky. It's very, evocative, if you get me.
You know, this old castle has a lot of history. Rumor has it that MI6 used it as a black prison site for Russian spies during the Cold War. Now, in the late 70s, some deadbeat civil servant stumbled across some highly confidential documents and tried to leak them to the Times. On his way to deliver the docs, he suddenly crashed into a traffic barrier and killed himself. Everything going up in flames. Convenient, right? But anyways, when some journalist decided to look into it and actually found this island, it was abandoned, nothing. So yeah, maybe it is just a rumor. But if only these walls could speak, eh?
I like working in this old murky castle, though, with all that incredible tech stuff. I like the tech stuff. I'm a big fan of science fiction books, you know? People don't understand. Great science fiction is always about the present. It's political.
The big shots are really rolling in tonight. The rich and the beautiful. Oh god, except for her. She's fucking ugly. Oh man, you too? This is like a paparazzi Shangri-La. I wonder how much money those little weasels make anyway. Oh, good evening, Mr. Secretary. I see you have arrived safely. That guy. Well. Look who showed up. Maybe I should ask for an autograph.
Could be a dead seagull? I know some of the guys like to practice their aim on them. Anyway, I found an old picture in the basement of this place from about 100 years ago or so. Did you know they hunted for whale here? Yeah, little wooden boats with a handheld spear. Can you imagine? Those guys were hard as nails.
Back in the day, people coped with suffering and scarcity. They lived shorter and harder lives, but ironically, those lives were probably fuller and happier than the ones we live. But that smell, what in the hell is that smell?
Maybe it's just a rotten fish or something. I'll tell you another interesting fact about this castle. It was ravaged by the plague at one point in history, and only the lady of the house, her youngest son, and a few servants survived. They buried 50 people in the sea.
It sounds like a cliche, but we could learn something from days gone by. I mean, the composure and the guts, they weren't afraid of anything. But seriously, why don't they turn off that damn sewage pipe?
Yeah, I smell it too. Not sure what it is though. But imagine living here hundreds of years ago when a boat would come once a week with provisions. Must have been a hard life.
Life was simpler back then. People were tougher. They had to be. I respect that. People are too soft now. Oh, there's that smell again.
Yeah, there is a weird smell, I agree. Could be the sewage pipe? Anyway, I wonder how they get fresh vegetables out here in the old days. Doesn't look like you could grow anything on this rock.
Things are too easy nowadays. Our lives are so bloated and corrupt compared to those times. It really stinks. No, I mean literally, it stinks here. There's a rotten stench in the air. It's revolting.
She thinks I stole the money. She's like, how can you possibly make so much money in a legal way? I'm like, well, honey, that's what I'm trying to say. I can't tell you about the job. They made me sign this thing. I mean, we have been over this 100 times and still.
Hey, did you put your money in an offshore account? Like I told you, you should think about it. These guys in the Cayman Islands are really clever, man. If you do this right, you don't need to worry about money ever again.
Oh, I wish I could just tell her about her job. Save us a lot of agony. You know what happened? Last time I was home, I bought her this big diamond ring, but, well, I ended up returning it to the store because she'd probably think I felt guilty about something. It's sad, really.
Well, there's always a period of adjustment when you get a new job, I suppose. The important thing is to keep your eyes on the money. This job pays 10 times more than what the Russian mob pays, and it's a lot more cleaner.
My girlfriend thinks I'm seeing someone else because of all the cloak and dagger shit. Tried to explain to her that I signed this crazy NDA and that I couldn't tell her anything even if I wanted to. She just looked at me and said, oh, come on.
Yeah, my parents asked a lot of questions to begin with, you know, like a lot of frickin' questions. But then I got this huge outdoor jacuzzi for them, and they shut the fuck up.
I mean, we've been together for 5 years, and she still thinks I'm fooling around. It's like she doesn't understand the concept of an NDA. And it's not just the legal shit. I mean, we could both end up at the bottom of the sea if I even thought about opening my mouth.
I wouldn't worry too much. If she was going to leave you, she would have done so long ago, all right? I mean, whatever you do, don't tell her about this work. You never know if somebody's listening.
One of them is a princess from some third world country where the people live in severe poverty. And she almost didn't come because they asked her to cut down her entourage to 15 people.
Right, I don't know what they taught them in those fancy schools, but good manners was apparently not on the curriculum. The sense of entitlement, it's off the chain, man.
The tech guys are the worst, you know. I'm not an expert, but it feels wrong that 20-year-olds should command that kind of power over our common future.
Yeah. It's too bad that these rich inbreeds will survive in some Arctic luxury hideout while the rest of the world falls apart.
You saw that guy with the fedora and the white skin gloves. Man, I'm so sick of these fools. You can buy a lot of things, but you can't buy class.
I read somewhere that sharks see the world in black and white. That's what makes them such great predators. They don't waste time on details. Rich assholes like that, they simply don't see us because we don't matter in their big plans.
I feel like I know one of these guys, right? And then it dawns on me that I followed his trial on television. Ah, he was accused of embezzling billions from a charity, but got off on some technicality.
And what is it about these rich guys in space? They all want to build rockets and go to some distant fucking planet. It's like they're bored with fucking up this old planet and they need a new challenge.
You know what? I realize I know one of these Arc-Patron guys. I worked on his security detail a few years ago. And he suddenly comes up, pulls down his mask, and says hello. Crazy fucker, he's building his own spaceship out of bamboo.
At the end of the day, he who pays the piper calls the tune, right? That's how it's always been, that's how it'll always be. Nothing new to report, my friend.
I know for a fact that one of these rich guys was drilling a tunnel into the center of the Earth at one point. I'm not kidding. He actually believed that it might be hollow and there could be living dinosaurs in some old cave. His whole crew got toasted, but it was covered up somehow.
As long as they're paying me, I don't give a shit if they like to play charades. I've seen weirder shit than this. I mean, I worked for the Russian mob, for Christ's sakes. Oh, talk about eccentrics.
I wonder what it must feel like to be that rich. Imagine, you could just give some random person $10 million and forever change his life, and it wouldn't even show in your bank account. I mean, imagine having that kind of power over other people's lives. It messes with the mind. And the result is what you see here.
Well, you know, they're bored with all their money and like a little role-playing to spice things up. I'm okay with that, as long as there's no kinky stuff involved. That is not my thing at all.
These guys. Sometimes I think they're too rich for their own good. You know, I overheard one of them saying he actually wished he'd go bankrupt tomorrow and live in the streets just to feel alive again.
Tell you what, I worked for this super rich American heavy metal rock star once, and this job is duck soup compared to those days. Oh boy, I don't even want to think about all the crazy shit that went down back then.
Listen, this system is the best money can buy, but it's still not perfect. The other day it froze for 2 hours and everybody was freaking out.
It could be a drone, you know? The Chinese can make them move like anything they want, even a damn seagull. So before you know it, we got a security breach.
My point is that while we're wasting time documenting that a rat or a seagull has moved around the perimeter, we might miss out on the bigger picture. You get me? The system simply picks up way too much information.
Look, there it was again. Did you see that? Don't tell me that was just some weird glitch, because that damn thing was clearly moving.
I wouldn't worry too much. It was probably just a seagull. The system goes nuts every time those big ugly birds flap by the cameras.
You see that? What the hell is going on? We got a goddamn zoo out there. Maybe we should call Wildlife Control Agency or something.
Frankly, these cameras are so sensitive that they'll pick up a rat or even a cockroach. I'm not sure we need that kind of data, you know?
Yeah, I still don't like it. Even if it's some nasty little badger, we should do a quick sweep tomorrow. Maybe put out some poison bait or set a trap, something.
I'm telling you, it's in the realm of possibility. It could happen, theoretically.
And I'm telling you, I don't care how that coconut you found yesterday got here. It just seems more likely that the coconut was brought here by one of the Archeans than your theory about multiple migrating swallows.
I just need to grip it by the husk.
I'll grip you by the husk if you don't let this go already.
That wouldn't be a relevant test. You're a lot bigger than a swallow.
Yeah, just a little more range. Yeah, that should do the trick. Okay. All right, just a bit more calibration, and we should be able to spot anything bigger than a pool float. Really should just get 2 of these up and running at this point. Lucky they have me around to sort these things out, or this island would probably be full of urban vloggers.